This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Previously on TV Tuners.
Stairmaster, you stay away from the dynamite. You're going to blow something up.
This does not cover every component of the food pyramid.
You're gonna watch me eat this whole brick of cheese, and you're gonna like it!
Do you have $2,000?
And now, TV Tuners continues.
Hey there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive into the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and coyote who's just trying to get people across the border for a quick buck, Stairmaster.
Hey man, we're in a little big hurry here. Can you please get off that microphone and get in the truck?
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Real quick. Let me just help you out here and put this hay barrel away. Alright, now I'm gonna kill you.
Ah!
But the audience won't get to see it. And with us, as always, of course, is our other co-host and helpful guy who's trying to just show me around the golf club.
Also,
Yorain.
noted anti-Semite.
I'm the most compelling series in this entire... series? I'm the most compelling character of this entire series.
Yeah, you're also an anti-Semite. Like everyone else in this club.
Yeah. I will proudly and freely admit that this is a very bigoted golf club.
Is that how yes and works, Swanson?
Yes.
You can just make people say they're racist?
Yes, and they have to agree. Watch, let me try it now. Stairmaster, stop being so racist.
Okay, I'm sorry for my past actions. I'll strive to do better, Swanson.
Yeah, see? Improv. It's a great game that we all play together.
Unless you're a woman.
Well, yeah.
At UTB.
That's right. Well, no,
It's a dangerous game.
Trust me, it doesn't matter if it's UCB.
Oh.
I want an improv team where they just they no-sell everything. They just... They're just like, no.
Give me a job, plumber. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're like, give me a job, plumber. Wow, I can't believe I'm a mechanic.
Anyways, time for sleep.
Go to sleep on the stage.
Someone gets on someone gets back on stage and they're like, wake up, and you're like, no, I'm sleeping. Yeah, it's good. That's like someone should do it if they haven't already, just because
yeah, at the State of the Union.
Yeah.
That'll
show that.
This is how we take
that
it back.
Sleepy Joe. Yeah, this is how we show our disapproval of Joe Biden.
I think the ultimate improv joke is just to say no and then say I'm leaving and then actually just
someone's just like on stage with you and you're just like, wow, I can't believe you decided to go skiing with me, and you're like, no, I'm leaving, and you just leave the stage.
Well, that's actually great improv, considering the scenario you posited.
Is it funnier if you leave the stage and go home, or if you leave the stage and sit in the audience and watch the rest of the show?
You walk past the audience as you leave. You hop off the stage. You don't go back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But we're big fans of it here at TV Tuners. And if you're a big fan of the podcast and you like listening to it, but perhaps you have a question, a quip, comment, foresight, otherwise, well, you could send it to us and we'd read it aloud on the podcast.
We do
on our
that?
email address. Yeah, that's what we got our email for.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you go over to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. You type up your little email, you send it to us, and we'll read it. What's that email address, Kieran?
I believe you said it was tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com, but I'm no expert. You know, I always defer to the experts. Stairmaster, what's that email?
847-696-6969.
That's right. You could be like Gio, who sent us this email. A good 420 to thee. A little late for us to be reading this, but he did send it on 420. Fellas, rumor has it they're doing a gritty, melancholic remake of Family Matters. It's going to be like Berserk, but worse.
Berserk?
Yeah, it's going to be like Berserk, but worse.
Yeah, Steve Urkel's going to make a cannon arm for Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers?
No, not Carl Weather. Carl Winslow.
They haven't cast Urkel yet, and the job might pay enough to finally settle Stairmaster's various gambling debts. So could each of you guys please hit me with your most world-weary and heavy, "Did I do that?" line read?
All right.
Roll that shit. Gio. Alright, who wants to go first?
I'm ready for this one. Okay. Let me get in the right headspace. Alright, so Carl has just betrayed me. And I've just gotten revenge. Did I do that?
All right, Swanson.
Okay, well, I aimed to attack Carl, but I hit Lisa, I think is her name, instead.
Oh no.
Did I do that?
Did I do that?
What's your situation?
Oh, you didn't.
It's not required, but
It's
we
just
did
existential.
it. So. Yeah.
He's just pondering his lot in life.
Yeah.
Gio didn't ask for this, but let's do another round where we find a way to use got any cheese.
Okay, so let's see.
I need cheese.
That's a new
All right,
quote.
but I'm gonna need you to say the line that is his catchphrase.
Got any cheese?
Got any cheese?
What I'm imagining is like him walking into like a dusty, rundown bar, and then he strolls up to the counter and he says, "Got any cheese?" What would the version of Stefan be in this reboot?
That's when he goes
He's
berserk.
like an evil clone.
He's like Griffith. He's kind of British and he wears a mask, a weird helmet.
Steve, we meet again.
Brother.
Wait, is
It's
Stefan
been too
like
long.
Are they distinct individuals?
They eventually
It's like-
are.
it's
He
like-
eventually splits off into his own person.
It's like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Yes, Stefan is essentially like Ocelot.
He's like Liquid Snake. He's got all the
Yeah.
superior genes.
It's true.
Spoilers.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And much
Yeah,
like Metal Gear Solid, the finale is a long, drawn-out fight scene between the two of them as Steve is like an old man.
Yeah, and Stefan does put him in a chokehold briefly and kiss him on the cheek.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get into that. All right, did we satisfactorily answer that question?
No. I mean, yes, we did. We did the thing he asked us to do. So I think we actually did satisfactorily answer this question.
For once.
For once.
Oh yeah, I watched Tokyo Vice yesterday, and there was a scene where they were watching the Japanese dub of Home Improvement.
Oh man, I would pay to see a Japanese guy go, oh!
Nani?
Anyway, I hope we answered your question, Gio.
We did.
Of course, that is email is not the only way you can reach us. We are on Twitter, where you can find all of our great TV content at TV Tuners.
Okay. What else?
That's not the only use for Twitter, though. We use it to search for the tweet of the week. Every week, there's a great tweet lying out there and wait for us to find it. And I believe we have one this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, this tweet comes from Za. They write,
Okay.
Taco Bell in the dark, watching Better Call Saul.
Okay.
And then
So
they got...
does the darkness improve the Taco Bell feast, or does it take away from it? What do you guys think?
I think this person needs help.
This is like, listen, maybe this guy needs help, but this is also a tweet that is like a whole vibe to it.
This person's got a serial experiment lane avatar, so that's how you know that they're not okay.
Also, their at is Holiday Fart Crew.
Oh yeah, that too. I was going to mention that, but I forgot. And also looking at their timeline, one of their retweets is a picture of a cat with the text, "I should kill myself."
This just sounds like your Twitter.
Now, I get more replies on my tweets. This guy only got 2 and 1 like.
All right.
I think he has more followers than me, too, though.
Is this the first episode we recorded since Stairmaster got Twitter famous? Briefly?
I am not Twitter famous.
You had one very famous reply tweet that
I literally posted a picture of Mr. Frog from Smiling Friends, and people thought that was funny in the context of the tweet.
Yeah.
I think one person visited the TV Tuners profile out of all that.
Well, hey, every person counts. Anyway, I like a tweet that has an entire vibe to it.
Sort of like a Michael Mann film.
Yeah, this tweet is Kino. In fact, I would like to option this tweet to make into a movie.
Oh no!
Were they eating Taco Bell, or were they in the Taco Bell?
Huh. That's a good question. I assumed eating because they were watching Better Call Saul, but I guess you could just flip on a TV at the Taco Bell.
Or, just bring your phone, watch it on your phone.
True.
Yeah, I'm thinking like...
But you have to break in.
Taco
You have to
Bell.
break in for it to be dark in there, though.
Or you're an employee and you're just staying there after closing.
Now I'm just imagining that one scene of Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling, where he's looking at the screen sadly, except it's playing Better Call Saul.
Oh, it's Better Call Saul. You know who this could be the guy who Gus kept in the kitchen.
Lyle?
Yeah, it's Lyle. That's right. It could be Lyle working at Taco Bell. He's like, I'm used to sticking around long after close. Just sits there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tune in on this tweet. I like the energy, this dark, depressing energy.
Yeah. Do you think years later, when Gus is like found out to be a huge drug kingpin, that Lyle is like, "What? I should have known."
No, I don't even think he remembers working there.
I feel like you would remember the moment that your boss kept you like an hour past your work schedule to clean.
I would just be like, that fucking asshole. But maybe Lyle's more of a big baby than me.
I think he was devastated and he cried.
Yeah.
He looked up to Gus.
It seems like an event you would remember for a very long time. But, yeah, I'm going to tune in on this.
Imagine in Breaking Bad, the thing that actually defeats Gus and in the end is Lyle comes for revenge out of nowhere.
But it's also, he dies the exact same way. Lyle's just the one who sets the bomb off instead.
Yeah. Well, he like notices the bomb and like deactivates it and he's like, "Not this time, Hector." And then Lyle shows up with another bomb and he's like, "Is this acceptable?"
No,
and Gus is just like, "Oh!"
I'm thinking like Walt meets up with Lyle. And we get a scene of them together.
So you're a disgruntled former employee of his.
No, I still work there.
Even better.
Well, you might be in for a promotion, kid.
I need you to wear this vest. But it's making my pit sweaty.
It would actually make Walt 10 times more evil.
The Kale squeaky voiced teen.
He doesn't tell him what he's doing. He's just...
Because at least with Hector, there seems to be, like, a willingness to blow himself up to kill Gus. Lyle has, like, the way it sounds is just like, Walt is just like, hey, why don't you blow yourself up? Just in case.
You're looking fashionable lately, Lyle. Where'd you get that vest?
Mr. White wanted me to press this button. Boop. Oh!
Mr. White sends his regards.
Or no, Walt also has him go to the DEA. I guess it's like, Lyle. What man?
Lyle, why did you go to the DEA?
It was free hot dog day.
You can get free chicken whenever you want.
I'm sorry, boss. Also, who's this guy in a leather jacket?
I hope Lyle comes back in this final season.
Oh, he's gonna meet up with Gene.
Oh no.
He's gonna have a briefcase for him and hand it over, and we're never gonna see what's inside the briefcase.
Well, it's like a corrupt a wish for me. We're gonna get Lyle, but he's gonna interact with Lalo. Like, he comes into the restaurant, he's like...
He was in Breaking Bad, wasn't he? He was hanging out.
Lalo's gonna get surgery.
I don't know.
It's gonna be like Fargo. Lalo is gonna get surgery to look like Bogdan and start a car wash. And also Lyle will work at the car wash.
Yeah, he becomes Bogdan's body double.
Yeah.
Because Bogdan needs one.
No, he is Bogdan. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he was not.
Oh, you're just saying
he was certainly not in Breaking Bad. He was not. So I guess he dies. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the only logical conclusion one could make.
I think he flees the country with Nacho.
Also, the Breaking Bad Wikipedia... the Breaking Bad Wikipedia states that he's actually not a teenager. He's in his mid-20s.
Oh, no. He's just like us. For real, for real.
He has teenager energy, though.
Yeah.
I forgot that Lyle episode happened in season 5. I thought it was way earlier. Anyway, I look forward to his appearance this season.
That was the moment. This Friday moment was the moment where Gus became Gustavo Fring.
It's true. Yeah, he stopped being Gus and became Gustavo. All right. Well, there's another thing I must ask before we get to the news. What'd you guys watch this week? Anything fun, interesting?
I watched The Batman. That was fun.
Something in the way. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah. I do like the fact they didn't actually know how to end it. So they just tacked on a completely unrelated
It's
plot.
funny because, like, the final fight could be cut by, like, 10 minutes and it would be way better. It just kept going. Like, I feel like by the time he saves Catwoman, you don't need any more of what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the scene with him and the Riddler is basically like the culmination of his character arc.
Yeah. Like, I guess what they needed to have that moment where he actually saves the people and everything to show that he's now the hero and whatnot. But also, that means you probably should have just cut out the part of the fight scene that needed you to get to that point, maybe, or I don't know. It could have it was a little much.
Also, they wanted to do, like, 7. They had to have a what's in the box scene.
Yeah.
Except this wasn't very satisfying.
Yeah. It's a good movie though. The vibes are there.
The vibes are there. It's a good Batman.
I just need more superhero movies that are just like, yeah, I watched these movies and I want to make a superhero version that's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, everything's unoriginal anyways.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, at least I would prefer it over like Marvel movies that are just like, this movie is like the other Marvel movies you've seen.
This one has pretty colors though. That's how you know it's different.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, yeah, it's. I liked it a lot. It was a good movie. I feel like at this point, it's like Batman is the reigning, defending, like undefeated champion of movies.
Yes, pretty much.
Superhero movies.
Dark Knight. Now this.
Even the Burton Batmans.
Right.
Like, there's I feel like he's the. It helps that he's like the most translatable to film.
Yeah.
But like he's a good character to put on screen. Has fun villains.
Clearly what Marvel needs to do is buy out Batman.
Yeah, obviously.
Just Batman though, nothing else.
Yeah. Well, what? Nah.
No, don't leave everyone else there.
Like leave all the villains too. Just.
Oh no! Batman versus
just
the Green
Batman.
Goblin.
That'd be fun. That's the thing. You could give Batman one of these other villains, and it'd be fun. Because when you think about it, Norman Osborn is just sort of a more psychotic Lex Luthor.
Batman versus
So he fits
Dr.
for
Doom
Batman.
would be cool.
Yeah, Batman versus Dr. Doom. That'd be good. Can't wait for Batman versus Galactus.
Like, yeah, you can
Okay,
have like
I want
a
you
cop
guys-
be like, you can have a cop be like, we can't go after him. He's got diplomatic immunity. And Batman.
I want you guys to think
Not
about
to me.
this for a second. I've got an image for you to visualize. So imagine seeing a movie poster for a movie titled exactly Batman Joins the Avenger.
Singular?
Yeah.
I'd
would
be
be
confused,
And intrigued.
but intrigued.
Now, what would they be depicting on that poster, do you think, if that was what the movie was titled?
Batman and a silhouette.
Okay, what do you think it would be, Stare?
I'm thinking it would just be the bat symbol. Exploding.
Exploding.
Okay, here's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing it's Batman with just like some other white guy who we do not recognize.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's the correct answer. But yeah, Batman, it's a good time. Batman is definitely a balls hell in that movie.
He just like me,
I
for
strongly
real, for
disagree.
real.
He's just like you?
Yeah. It's the most Stairmaster Batman put to cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to watch this now to see what you're talking about.
What did you like the Penguins there?
Yeah. I'm sad that that should have been James Gandolfini.
Yeah, and a better. I mean, Colin Farrell did a good job.
Yes.
But it should have just been. Imagine James Gandolfini as the Penguin.
I would have seen that in theaters, despite the pandemic, if that had been the case.
The fucking Batman.
Get out of here with
Hey,
this fucking vengeance shit.
Get out of here with the fucking vengeance. Justice. There ain't no justice here. I got 2 pairs of justice right here. Grab them.
Anyways, Batman.
Yeah. Good
Batman.
stuff.
Batman.
If Batman came over to my house, I'd be like, hey, man.
Would you?
So did you?
No, I'd probably
Stare,
think I'm going to die.
Did you have like a straight face when the Riddler started singing Ave Maria?
I was like, wow, he's just
I-
like me. For real, for real.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, good movie. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I watched it twice this week.
Damn. I watched the latest Pixar joint, Turning Red.
Oh, you mean that 9/11 movie they made?
That's that's right. Yeah, because it should have been about 9/11. They should have talked about it.
Yeah.
Even though it's set in Toronto in 2002.
Why would you? What is the point of setting it in 2002 except to like make it more appealing to millennials who are in their 30s?
Well, because it's about the creators' experiences, so they set it during their lifetime. I don't know. Also, believe it or not, that's 20 years ago, so you might as well.
Yeah.
There's nothing really about it that it screams 2022 or 2002. But it does track. I mean, there's like she does have a Tamagotchi, so that is 2002. But
yeah, kids these days do not have Tamagotchi.
I mean, probably not in Canada. Probably not hanging around all the time with it. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a fun time. The animation style. Get this. What if Pixar made an anime? That's what this movie is. Especially the last third, when it becomes a bunch of like giant pandas fighting each other.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Inside the Toronto Sky Dome.
So this is Pixar, right? Did they make the mom hot?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, like, the mom is also sort of like the antagonist of the film.
Just like real life.
Yeah. She doesn't have like a dump truck, if that's what you mean.
That is important.
What is this Pixar? What is this Pixar mom trend Stairmaster is pointing out? Is that a thing?
People
yeah,
they like to give Pixar moms huge dumpies.
You just gotta trust us on this one, Keo.
I like to make Stairmaster Google things that are inappropriate.
Did Pixar do Bug's Life, or did they do Ass?
Yeah, that's Pixar.
Okay, did anyone in Bug's Life have a huge ass?
I'm pretty sure Andy's mom in Toy Story is shown at one point having a donk.
They're bugs, so they have like, what do they call that? A thorax?
Yeah, they got a got a
absolutely.
huge thorax, and they know how to use it. Anyway, it was a good movie. Tune in. Probably the best Pixar movie I've seen in a while. Other than that, I've been watching, get this, believe it or not, on network television, there's a sitcom that I enjoyed.
Swanson, you okay?
Oh, it was good. It was funny.
Stay restrain him. I can check him for a fever, see if he's ill.
I think he's been hypnotized. We need to deprogram him. Come here, Swanson.
Listen, I'm just as surprised as you guys.
Okay, well, explain.
This is some dark magic.
Explain before I get upset, like why you think this is good. I'm getting angry, Swanson.
It's called Abbott Elementary. It's set in an underfunded public school in Philadelphia. It's a lot of teachers being like, "Damn, it sucks to work here, but here you go," and then comedy ensues. It's got Chris from Everybody Hates Chris, but now he's an adult.
Is he responsible?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
He's like they haven't gotten into it in the 10 episodes I've watched so far that much, but it does seem like he's been messed up by his family at some point because he has a lot of issues that he must deal with. Also, he doesn't really want to teach, but he's there teaching because he didn't get a job as principal.
Oh, poor guy.
The principal is like social media
no.
influenced, wants to like get on TikTok and get noticed and stuff instead of worrying about the kids. It's very funny.
Oh my!
That's devastating.
Cringe student.
She also only got the principal job because she saw the superintendent sleeping with another woman and blackmailed him. Anyway, it's a good show. It's early in it's in its first season and it's like 10 episodes in, so it's like, you know, they got the filling out process going on here, but you can tell that there is comedic potential. It's a good show. I recommend.
Which network was this?
It's ABC, but I watch it on Hulu.
Wow, ABC. I would have never expected that to have happened, Swanson.
It's true. Yeah. Also, it's a predominantly black cast, which is nice.
Yeah, so we're going to be keeping you on observation for how many weeks there? Should we keep you on observation?
11.
Okay, 11 weeks. All right. Yeah, you're not going to be going anywhere, Swanson. Going to be, we're going to be just keeping an eye on you.
That's how you observe? You just keep me in a confined space?
We'll be putting you on a Twitter space.
Oh, that sounds worse for my health.
Well, Swanson, if you go other places where we can't watch you, how do we observe you?
You watch. Just follow me.
I don't have that kind of time.
But you got time to watch me on a fucking monitor?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do for a living. We watch stuff on monitors. Maybe that's what next week's episode of TV Tuners will be about. Swanson.
Oh, I don't like that. And I got a feeling neither would the audience.
Talk about how Swanson was in a room, like angry, asking to be let out.
Day 15. Swanson was very volatile.
We're trying to figure out which stage.
Very volatile.
We're trying to figure out which stage of grief Swanson's currently going through.
Grief?
Yeah, you're going to be upset about being locked in a room.
I don't know if being upset is the same as going through the 5 stages of grief.
I mean, in a sense, it is. Really,
After a certain point of time, you'll be upset and it'll be grief.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, in a sense, grief is just when the world irrevocably changes. And you have to deal with that fact.
Let's see. I mean, first, Swanson, you'll be in denial that we've actually locked you in a room.
That this is your life now.
And then you'll be angry. And then you'll start bargaining. You'll be like, come on, guys. I'm fine. It's just an ABC show. Not a big deal.
Guys,
I
come
won't
on.
watch it again.
I'll let Keo say he's Theo Huxtable again. Come on, guys.
And then depression, where you're just sad that you're in a room. And finally acceptance, where you'll be just okay with it. You'll just be in the room, hanging out.
And what exactly are you observing here?
What are we observing, Keo? I think so.
We're observing.
Brainwashed?
Yeah, we're seeing if you're brainwashed.
And this is supposed to solve that?
Oh, this is supposed to give us peace of mind.
Yeah, like you're not going to get out and like start doing something dangerous. Or making us watch ABC shows or anything like that.
Man, I'm not making anybody watch that.
You better not.
I am going to say tune in on it, though.
I mean, Swanson, you do realize that if you announce for the week that our 2 choices are 2 ABC shows, Stairmaster and I...
I can't even name another ABC show other than this one, to be honest with you.
Modern Family.
Not on anymore.
Oh, wow. Racists win again.
Alright, well, unless Keo watched something, I think it's time for the news.
Yeah, I didn't watch nothing.
Alright, then. Let's start with the big one right away, alright? We all love Netflix. We love going on it, looking for all of the amazing content on there that is all 100% created and owned by Netflix.
On there. Like, and
also, well,
no, I did not.
That sentiment might be shared by a few people, as for the first time in over a decade, Netflix lost subscribers during one of its quarters.
Oh, they posted cringe.
They posted cringe, Keo. At the end of Q1 for 2022, Netflix had 2021. That's not right. Hold on, let me say this again.
In the year.
At the end of quarter 1 of 2022, Netflix had 221.64 million paid subs, a decline from 221.84 million it had at the end of last year. So about 200,000 people have unsubscribed from the company.
Could have done such a thing.
This is not only a downswing, but also way off of what it previously predicted, which was that it was going to add 2.5 million more subscribers. Naturally, Netflix stock went dramatically down, and I think at the end of the day, when it was announced, it had sunk by 25%.
Yeah, and I saw a story they were talking about how there's 200 million account shares. They speculate.
Yeah.
And they're going to crack down on that.
That's right. That was one of many responses Netflix had. Totally normal responses Netflix had to this this news item.
They're really scrambling.
Yeah, I don't know if they just weren't expecting it or they just weren't sure how to respond. But it does feel like they were just hitting panic buttons after all of this. They did also... The expectation, I guess, is also that they're going to lose more subscribers, probably because of price hikes. So maybe that's why they're hitting the panic button.
And probably because every other streaming service has a better library.
That's one of the things they list as one of the potential reasonings is the streaming wars. But they don't give any idea of what they're going to do to fix that problem.
Well, they could spend more on Stranger Things.
Yeah,
we need 5 more seasons of Stranger Things. We need to have a new series called Strangest Things.
Perhaps they should spend $100 million per episode.
Strangely, not one of the things that I do think is a problem, that Netflix apparently doesn't seem to think is one, is their willingness to just cancel shows that people are actually watching.
Well, it doesn't bring in new subscribers once then. If it doesn't promote growth, it's meaningless.
Yeah, you're right. So there were 4 major problems detailed by Netflix. The first one, of course, is one of those shrug, we can't control the market type of deals, which is that this makes a certain sense, right? Their growth you can only grow so much. This happens with every single company at some point. At this point, most people in developed countries who want Netflix can get it.
Yes.
So how much can you grow moving forward?
But the shareholders still want more.
Exactly. So, you have to keep promising that you're going to move forward with stuff, but, how do you even do that? When, I don't even know how they predicted that they were going to get 2.5 million more subscribers. They're not opening up in any new countries that I know of, because they're already opened up in most of them.
Yeah, what was the calculation they pulled off here? What was the measurement?
Yeah. I think... I don't know, maybe they're not in India yet. I feel like maybe that would be a big one to move into that they're not in yet. But India also doesn't have a whole lot of people who are, paying for subscription services, I imagine. The number is probably lower. But, yeah, so that's part 1. Second part, Stairmaster already mentioned it, account sharing. Netflix said they had around 222 million paying households globally. They estimate that with sharing accounts, there's another 100 million households. That's actually, when you think about it, that's a huge number.
That's more households than there are people in the United States.
Yeah, and it's funny because for years they've been sort of shrugging off the sharing passwords thing. And then it turns out it's actually a huge problem for them. I don't think it's a problem at all, honestly, because I'm not a horrible capitalist.
The logic of capitalism is whoever can squeeze the most juice from the fruit survives, and the others get accumulated by them.
And they want to squeeze that 100 million household juice as much as they can, even if it means losing... 50 million in the process.
Yeah, I wonder if they're thinking okay, we'll crack down on it, and then the people who get cut off are just gonna get subscriptions suddenly. I don't.
Yeah,
think that's
that
realistic.
doesn't seem like a good idea. That seems like something that an executive thought of without discussing it with someone who is not extremely rich. Because that's not... Because listen, if I was sharing my Netflix password with somebody, or if I was using someone's Netflix password, it's because I don't want to fucking pay for Netflix. I'm not going to suddenly be like, oh, dang it. I guess now I'll pay for Netflix instead of just, I don't know, pirating this thing I want to watch.
I think they're counting on Zoomers not knowing how to use computers, so they won't have to worry about piracy anymore.
Well, they're going to crack down hard on piracy, Stairmaster. That's the plan. They're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to find a way.
One of these days, they're going to do it. They're going to shut down the whole internet if they have to.
That's right. They're going to figure it out. Number 3, of course, Netflix also points to increased competition from HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, and Peacock. I would say of those ones, the only actual competition is HBO Max, because HBO Max is a legitimately good streaming service.
I mean, Disney has a decent library.
Disney, yeah, it's weird that they don't mention Disney in the press release.
It's like Voldemort.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of streaming services, my current go-to is probably HBO Max.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch HBO shows as they come out, and also it has a huge collection of movies.
That's fucking insane. And it's got HBO shows from the past.
That's right. You can watch The Sopranos right now if I wanted to. Season 3 of Barry's going to come out. I'm going to be like, wow, I could watch this the next day? Also, HBO Max, they got the Batman. What does Netflix have? They don't even have Marvel superheroes anymore. They gotta make their own superheroes with, like, Jupiter's Legacy or whatever that show was.
Oh my god, that was miserable.
That was a bad show. I think they canceled that.
I hope so.
Of course they did.
And last but not least, one that probably can't actually be denied is that the company did blame the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Interesting. What's their train of thought here?
They had to suspend service in Russia, which meant that they lost about 700,000 subscribers. Which might explain part of the deficit here. But also, it doesn't explain how they expect to lose more in the coming time. So,
how is cutting off service to Russia, Netflix service to Russia, supposed to stop them from invading Ukraine?
A good question.
It's going to lower the troop morale because they're not going to be able to watch Stranger Things on their cell phones
while they're in active combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, during the battle.
While they're slowly trudging along to the next city to be murdered.
We live in a crazy
or
world.
do the murdering, depending on how it goes for them. Also, Netflix CEO has signaled his support for a lower-cost, ad-supported plan, which sounds bad, but it is a thing that all the other streaming services do offer. So when you think about it, that could actually be a contributing factor. But, I mean, I'm not any more entitled to subscribe to Netflix if it's like an ad version. Personally.
Yeah, I'm not paying for ads. Sorry, folks.
Sorry, Nathan, Netflix.
Yeah, you're gonna have to try better, Netflix. All in all, the results here seem pretty bad for the current time frame for Netflix, but you never know. Maybe they'll rebound in some way. But I mean, listen, we've talked about Netflix. I feel like we've always been negative about Netflix, and it's just finally the eggs have come home to roost.
Finally, people are actually listening to this podcast.
That's right.
The numbers show it.
That's right. Listen, TV Tuners numbers are up this year. Netflix numbers down. Coincidence? I think not.
We should get our own Netflix show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way. That's how you turn it around. Contact us.
Maybe we could sit in like a car and talk to some comedians.
Oh, okay. Well, we should get like a beverage with them.
No, that's too expensive.
You're right. We gotta keep costs. We have to keep costs down so we don't get canceled by Netflix after
Before
a single season.
2.
Yeah. So yeah, Netflix, of course, not the only people facing problems. Award shows also facing their own problems. Specifically, of course, ever since the slap, award shows have had an eggshells sort of moment that they've been walking on. The Tony Awards, everyone's favorite award show about Broadway and all of the other musical and plays productions that we love.
Named after Tony Tap Dance.
That's right. He had feet like a
what a legend.
They've issued a no violence policy, stating that anyone who has any violent outbursts will be removed immediately. In a moment of,
wow.
I guess we got to explain that.
That's bold. Why haven't they done this before?
A great question. It's odd that they have to explain that there is a no violence policy for these events. It feels.
Are they
implicit.
worried about like copycat slaps or something? Like,
yeah,
I think
the
it's
copycat slappers. They're worried about Lin-Manuel. Well, I'd be worried too, because if Lin-Manuel Miranda gets on the stage, someone's probably going to slap him.
I would take the shot. Just saying.
The slap.
Just the whole audience gets up to
They just all take turns slapping him. It's like that scene from Airplane where the guy's getting slapped by everybody in the line.
I'm going closed fist for sure.
You're going to deliver a fierce punch?
That's gonna be like that scene in the Boondocks where Huey's on the talk show.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, it's pretty simple. It's just a policy that if it's violated, they will be officially removed from the ceremony. I'm not sure why it needs to be said or what. Like, it's weird that that now what needs to happen is that it must be implicit that if you are going out for an event, you cannot just get up and beat somebody up.
Yeah, I think the social fabric might be fraying a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, when you think about it, this is what the Batman was about as well.
I want an award ceremony where it's just you're free for all. You can bring weapons.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the adult video awards.
Yeah. Well, they have different sorts of weapons.
Sexual weapons?
Yeah, that's right. We don't need to get into it here, but yeah, pretty much. So yeah, the Tony Awards officially announced that the Will Smith doctrine has no place there.
Yeah.
Finally, it's happened at long last. A streaming service that fared worse than Quibi.
Oh,
that's
excuse
right.
me?
After a month of being up and running, CNN Plus is no more.
Wow.
That's right. Everyone's favorite streaming service for a news program that they are vaguely aware of, a news company, is gone. As of April 30th, it will be no more.
Yeah, what was even on it? Because I heard you couldn't watch CNN on it.
That's right. That's the funny part. So, CNN Plus is being shuttered due to the new Warner Bros. Disney merger. Apparently, the new CEO did not like the idea. So due to like TV contracts, I guess you could not on CNN Plus watch CNN. Which seems like a bold strategy in the streaming wars. It would be like watching Disney. It would be like going on Disney Plus, but not being able to watch original Disney movies.
Instead, what did they have?
Offerings included a Don Lemon talk show, a Jake Tapper book club.
Wow.
An Anderson Cooper show on parenting, I didn't even know he had children. And more than 1,000 hours of CNN series, which includes documentary films like RBG and Linda Ronstadt, The Sound of My Voice.
So, just some of the biggest assholes on Twitter. And Anderson Cooper, right. I guess.
Yeah. So these shows are made for the service, and they're just like, okay, no.
That's right. In fact, CNN Plus even slashed its price for people who got in the first month from $5.99 a month to $2.99 a month. But apparently, even that small little morsel of a subscription was not enough for. That's actually the by the way, that's the amount for a coffee.
Oh, like the people can buy us a coffee?
Yeah, at $2.99, you can buy us a coffee for that amount.
We will not talk to Don Lemon.
No, or watch his show that he had on this streaming service. So yeah, even with the $2.99 price tag, there was little to offer for this streaming service. Apparently, at the time of closing, it has roughly 150,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's miserable.
That's like CW highest rated show.
Wow. Watson, you're being really brutal this evening.
Well, that's accurate, I think, to the CW's ratings. Maybe not, but it's like a CW show in terms of ratings.
Rest in piss.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, and just to make sure everyone knows, we're not allowed to laugh at this. A lot of people lost their jobs.
That's true. Yeah, we can't be laughing at this. The Schadenfreude of this all. Yeah, it's reported that this is because the CEO did not like the recently departed CEO's decision to launch CNN Plus mere weeks before the merger. And also probably because it's not doing well. But yeah, long live CNN Plus, a program, a streaming service that I remembered existed because of this news story. Thank you, CNN
and
Plus.
Congratulations to Quibi.
Yeah, you were a real one. I'm gonna think about CNN Plus every day for the rest of my life. I'm gonna pour one out for it every day.
I'm gonna get a commemorative mug.
Yeah. It remains to be seen if CNN Plus is going to be folded into HBO Max, but would anyone even notice if that was the case?
No.
The answer is no. Anyway, that's it for the news. So I think there's nothing left but for us to come here to talk about what we've watched this week. That's right, we watched Season 6 of Better Call Saul, and now we're going to talk about it. Better Call Saul is a prequel to Breaking Bad, set primarily in the middle part of the 2000s, that follows Jimmy McGill as he begins his transformation from Saul Goodman, or from humble, earnest lawyer to egocentric criminal defense attorney Saul Goodman. Along the way is the moral decline of retired police officer Mike Ehrmantraut, who now works for Gustavo Fring, along with some other colorful characters. Better Call Saul enters its final season, and we're here to discuss it today. Did Better Call Saul leave you feeling colorful with some nice suits, or leave you like a tequila stopper in the street?
Are we talking about both episodes or just the first one?
We can make allusions to the second one, but I think we're going to only discuss in detail the first one.
Well, but they aired on the same day. They aired consecutively, so we got to talk about both of them.
Yeah, but are we going to break them both down?
Yeah.
Alright, well in that case, let's just start from the start here, which is that, I feel like I'm gonna talk for like 20 minutes on this alone. This opening is, a work of beauty, this Citizen Kane ass opening that we get here.
Yeah, it's a little nice fake out with the black and white ties.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a scene.
Apparently, they didn't even film that part in black and white. They just started with the black and white ties and then started adding in the color ones. So that's fun.
Also, James Berniak, voice of Rusty Ventures in this scene, apparently.
Oh, I thought he was the golf club guy.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, he is in this episode.
I just read a forum post saying James Urbaniak was in the episode and did not think about it or interrogate it in any way.
But yeah, so we get this fun opening scene here where we see the living state of Saul Goodman prior to the end of Breaking Bad. And it definitely feels like a guy who is trying to convince himself he's happy.
Yeah.
Guy who convinces himself that he's very sexually active.
I mean, that Viagra's there for a reason.
It's true. Well, there was also a pink thong there.
Yeah. I wonder, it was like very like, I didn't mean active, but like very sexually like virile or something. Like he was just loading his house up with just kind of like not quite classy, but just kind of over the top sexual themes.
He just wanted. Oh yeah, and he's got the nude lady painting.
Yeah. If this show wasn't in 2008 and was in like 2018, he would for sure have some pills that he got from like Alex Jones. But I did like the Trump toilet that he had in this bathroom.
Yeah, he is very much just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know about Jimmy, none of this is sincere. If we had just seen this with no context in Breaking Bad, we'd been like, yeah, that's Saul. He lives a life. He's a happy guy.
I think what's funny is that the most sincere part is actually when they move through the mirror in his closet to the like safe house room that he has.
Yeah. That
has like a TV monitor and like a bunch of like bulletproof vests and stuff that he just definitely got to keep that on stock when you realize shit's going down. But yeah, so this is if you want to go for a place where you can get the worst possible theories imaginable, the Better Call Saul Reddit sure has a lot of those for you, because there were a lot of people who were just like, who do you think is seizing all of Saul's stuff? Who's taking all of this?
The repossession man is doing this.
Yeah, they're like there were some suggestions that were like they thought that Saul was hiring these people to take his stuff away, or like that the vacuum cleaner man had hired these people to do this. But the showstopper, of course, is at the end of this scene when they're moving a chest and out pops a tequila bottle stopper, the very same one that Jenny has kept since him and Kim's first scheme together. Falls out of his desk. A little clue that maybe there's a little bit of the old Jimmy in there somewhere, or was. And we get a long shot on that. Fun fact that I learned listening to the Better Call Saul podcast. That's apparently a visual effect, that stopper. Because there's no way that they could figure out how to just get that to land perfectly the way they wanted it to. But it looks good. What a shame.
Yeah, it does. It's convincing. If you pay attention to this sequence, there are like little knickknacks in his like closet showing he does keep a bunch of stuff from back when he was Jimmy.
Also,
yeah, I noticed a couple things.
If you look closely, you see a bunch of disparate letters that say "Mike alive."
Well, if you look in the box that they have labeled like stuff of no importance, there is the picture of the cowboy that he did the commercial with.
Aww.
From last season. The bank commercial with the K cowboy.
Oh yeah. There's a couple of frames. If you pause at the right moment, you see Mike on the rooftop. So
yeah. You see things that say like Mike alive and Gus not dead.
And if you do pause it for a frame, you can see Jesus Christ standing in the hallway.
Yeah, what could it mean?
With nails in his hand.
He looks pretty distraught over the situation.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a great opening sequence. Good stuff. Oh, I also enjoyed the, I think this is another movie reference, although I don't remember offhand the movie they're referencing, but the fishing of the cardboard cutout of Saul Goodman out of the pool. And then promptly putting it directly into the trash.
Oh, that's a reference to the Batman 22.
Oh, you're right.
Makes
I like that they put him in the trash, and it looks as if he is pointing at the camera from the trash can. Anyway, it's a great opening sequence, but unfortunately, we can't have. It's not all fun and games this episode. In fact, we immediately open up with Nacho running for his life.
Also, the intro. It's like barely hanging in there at this point.
My favorite part about Better Call Saul every new season is trying to see how degraded the intro gets. Do we think it's going to get more degraded as the season goes on?
I think
how much more could they do?
Like the last couple
Pixels?
episodes, it's going to be like a blue screen with Better Call Saul on it.
I think the audio is going to cut out.
Yeah, something. I imagine they have something planned for the back episodes of some sort. Because this is, of course, the first opener that does not have Gene as the focal point.
It's gonna have 3D Saul Goodman.
Yeah, he's going to be pointing and being like, I fight for you!
And then it'll just have like the nerd emoji being panned across.
Wooga!
So yeah, we get Nacho. He's running for his life. He's hiding out from just anybody he sees to make sure that no one gets sight of him, because he's in as Tyrus reminds him on the phone. He is in Salamanca territory.
I just love how they sell how frantic he is during this whole sequence. He's like barely able to run properly. He keeps falling over.
Yeah. I mean, same, to be honest. I think I would be dead already at this point.
Like you would just have had a cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think I'd be killed by the cartel.
I would have tripped over a branch and cracked my head open.
Yeah. But Nacho is much quicker than I am in these regards, so he also attempts to reach Mike, who is not answering.
Not answering my phone right now, Nacho.
Sorry, I can't answer my phone, Nacho. Boss told me not to.
I'm on the toilet, Nacho.
I'm doing a full measure, not answering my phone. Yeah, so, Nacho, well, that hasn't happened yet, I don't think, but he makes it to his hotel eventually, and that's when the real fun begins for him. But, Lalo, whew, this Lalo scene is horrifying. He limps his way over to this farm of these people he owns. He
pretty much owns them, yeah.
The dialogue that they have, it seems to explain that he took them from their previous home and moved them there. Because he's talking about, like, do the goats like it outside of the mountains?
Yeah, and he got the dentist, he got the guy's teeth taken care of.
Yeah.
Very briefly, we're thinking, oh, maybe he's treat some people in his region okay, maybe, but
yeah.
no.
Well, he did treat them nicely until this moment.
Yeah, no, it turns out he just needed a body double.
It was a very false niceness.
Yeah.
The wife says the dentist was working very hard on his teeth.
So when did the moment sink in? Was it when he grabs the nut, when he grabs the part of the scissors, or was it when he walks into the bathroom with his lookalike sitting there?
It was when he split the stitches in half. I was like, oh, that's a knife now.
Because, like, when he's like, hey, man, keep the mustache and keep the mustache, man, it looks nice. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, that seems suspicious. and then the knife, and it's like...
I didn't realize he was ordering him to shave. I thought he was just making a suggestion.
No, it was... The wife said, he's here, you better go shave. Like, it's expected of them.
Yeah.
Like, be respectful, shave. And he's like, hey, keep the mustache,
And then Mike murders his wife, and then murders him, and...
Mike.
Burns... Mike shows up and murders him. But he doesn't murder Lalo.
I wanna work with you instead, Gus.
I'm working with
There's
you,
no
Lalo.
honor. There's no honor
Gus
in
has
Los
no
Palos
honor.
Hermanos anymore.
There's no hermanos there. Just a
false
bunch of
front.
chickens.
I'm gonna tell you everything, Lalo.
No, Lalo kills this guy. I do like this scene of the Lalo double looking up in the mirror as Lalo is standing behind him, ready to murder him. So then he burns his body. Yeah, the guy's like, oh, my best friend Lalo's here. The cousins eventually show up at Lalo's compound and find his body, which has been, not his body, but the double's body. That looks like his because it's been burnt beyond recognition. They assume it's Lalo's, and one of them takes off their coat and puts it over him. And then they look distraught.
They're so sad.
This is like the most emotion I've ever seen on their faces. Except maybe the one who survives the Battle of Hank. He looks pretty mad about everything that happens after that.
Yeah, things didn't go great for those two eventually.
No.
I mean, they also one of them also did get shot a couple seasons back.
True. Meanwhile, in Gus land, Gus is like, or I guess I'm gonna have to follow this in order. I'm just gonna follow what I can recall of the story because it has been a couple days. In Gus land, I think Gus has heard that the assassination went off without a hitch, and he's like, "But there's no mercenaries around."
With the hitch, there was a big hitch. It was that all the mercenaries are dead.
And Mike's like, it happens.
I saw a lot of criticism,
Gus.
I think because I think the second episode got people were confused about what Gus is doing here. And I feel like we're supposed to get the idea that Gus is not operating at 100% efficiency yet. Because, like, he's leaving a lot of loose ends, and that's something that Mike comments on in the second episode. Like, I think this is supposed to be the point, is that he's pretty sloppy with how he's dealing with the nacho thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any clue what he's doing. He's just
it's not
kind of
like he has very many options anyways.
He's like, I'm going to make this guy my little man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, like, Gus assumes that all his plan will go off without a hitch because he's underestimating Nacho, and Mike is like, this isn't how it's gonna go down, Gus.
He's like, he's not gonna be your little man, Gus. He's gonna be like a medium man who doesn't like you.
He's turning into a big boy now.
Our little Nacho's growing up.
He's my special little guy, not yours.
Taught him everything I know, Gus.
Yeah, Gus is like talking with Taris and Mike, and Mike's like, it's been known to happen that everyone dies, but so does the bad guy that we want dead.
Like, did Mike go to Wikipedia to get that fact? What is he citing?
I think he just knows. He's Mike.
But how many assassinations has he done before?
Well, we know that he's done at least one.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Mike is like, or Gus is like, this makes sense. He also, I think, doesn't Gus ask Mike if he thinks Lalo's dead, and Mike's like, yeah, probably, I guess.
I don't remember that happening.
That's right. There's a there's a bit where they're sitting there in the room, and he's like, "Speak your piece," and Mike's like, well, this Nacho guy seems pretty alright.
I think you're being a bit of an ass.
And Gus is like, no, he will die. Mike's like,
I do show him respect.
Alright. Yeah.
And Mike's like
Gus
suggesting very, very gently, I can go pick him up. That would be pretty easy.
And Gus is pretty much like, no.
I will show him respect.
He will remain in Mexico.
By using 100% of my power to eradicate him.
Yeah. And, meanwhile, over in main character land, Jimmy and Kim return to their day-to-day lives. There's a scene where Kim throws away the world's second best lawyer mug, a bullet hole in it. Yeah. It's very metaphorical. Jimmy is confronted by the prosecutor from Lalo's case. He slips up and calls him Lalo at one point instead of Jorge de Guzman. I'm sure that won't have any negative effects.
Yeah, it's gonna go over great.
Yeah, they definitely seem to buy his story there. That he mixed up.
That he has more than one client that has a $1 million bail.
So yeah, he heads back. He does his whole deal. Did you guys notice this? The suit that he gives the guy, Kim's client, is the suit we see him wearing in the first episode.
No,
it's when he's arguing with the lady about the amount on the payment that he received for the 3 people who were fucking a corpse or whatever.
I have no recollection of that suit.
He's wearing the same. He gave him the same suit, so it's nice. That's why he says, "I hope it does better for you than it did for me." I guess.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, he goes to see Kim, and they have a bit of a conversation here, and you get the idea based off of how the lulls in the conversation that the only thing keeping these two together at this point is scheming.
Oh.
Scheming and, I guess, disgusting Saul Goodman as like a persona.
Yeah, Jimmy doesn't even wanna.
No, he seems very reticent to do this scheme.
He's really not really that into it. He's not leaning into the character at all at this point. Kim's pushing him pretty hard for it, right?
He's got like this wary, I was forced to drink my own piss in the desert energy going on here.
Yeah. No, yeah, essentially this entire scene is Kim is everyone in the classroom and he is Bart.
Yeah.
And she's just like, be Saul Goodman. He's like, oh, okay.
She's like, that car you rented, what's up with that? He's like, oh, it's a car. She's like, would Saul Goodman drive that car?
We need a car that can talk.
Yeah.
Sounds like, I'm putting that jacket.
Maybe we need like a Cadillac with a license plate that says lawyer up. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's the official Saul Goodman brand, and he's just not living up to it. And honestly, I'm disappointed in him.
Yeah, I think he tries to defend it by saying that the color is actually taupe.
The fact that your car does not do the Night Court theme when the honk is pressed makes me very unaroused.
That's true. That's really good for Saul. You know, what screams justice more than Night Court?
The Columbo? Does Columbo have a theme song? I don't think he does.
I don't think, actually. I think they just sort of go right into the episode.
Yeah.
No bells and whistles on Columbo. So yeah, they continue to discuss their plans on how they're going to essentially ruin Howard Hamlin. So then we're
not privy to it because it's a heist film.
Yeah. This is great stuff. This little heist
caper.
This little mini heist movie that we get in this episode.
Yeah.
This delightful caper.
Yeah, in the midst of like extreme tension that's going on in the rest of the episode, as Nacho is like running for his life into this hotel where he gets in there and he gets put into a motel room, and Tyrus is like, all right, you got a gun. Don't move. Just stay there. If anyone walks in there, shoot them.
We're going to have a truck pick you up. Just trust me. Source, trust me, bro.
There are people,
he's like, all right.
There are people on the internet speculating that there actually was a truck because of the Lalo scene.
Yeah, I don't think that's what...
Yeah.
I'm gonna start going on these Reddit posts or wherever they're talking about and just really just like tearing into these people.
I think it's just a truck, bro.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of confusion about this for some reason that I don't think I quite get, because like it seems pretty obvious what the plan was, at least in terms of it's sloppy, but like it makes sense for this current iteration of Gus, in that he would think that he would expect Nacho to do as he's told and fire the gun, and then that would lead to them firing back at him and killing him. Therefore, they no longer have the critical piece of information.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a lesson that Gus learned. Wasn't there a quote in Breaking Bad where he pointed out that he did learn this lesson at some point? He was like...
He says like fear is not a motivator for him or something like that. Which, I mean, that's also a bull-faced lie, but...
It is, but it shows that he at least had that thought in his head somewhere that like...
Right. Well, it's a lesson for Gus, and it's also supposed to be like, this is the final, or at least I'm assuming, the final step to like Gus and Mike being on like equal terms with each other.
They're gonna kiss.
Yeah. Because like right now, Gus and Mike are not... Mike is not a respected, like, trusted right-hand man to Gus at all.
He's not a trusted source in field.
No.
Hey, so, like, Mike is a bit disillusioned as well.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, because we do get a scene of him hanging out with his granddaughter, and he gets that call from Nacho, and he's like, can't pick up the phone, Nacho. Sorry.
Family is what matters, Nacho. I thought you understood this.
Yeah. But yeah, this delightful little caper that Jimmy gets into here, where his Kim, I think this is the idea here. Is this is all Kim's idea, pretty much, and Jimmy is just sort of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least until he has to turn on the Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
But he goes into this country club, and things are going pretty well. He's going on a tour and whatnot. And the guy from the bank, what's his name? Kevin something or another. Yeah, that's right.
Kevin, what's his face?
Kevin
Stupid face.
Him. Yeah, Kevin notices him, and he's like, he has the guy who's showing him around talk to him, and he talks to the guy, and the guy's like, hey, sorry about your tour, but we're actually not taking any new members anymore. And you can see Jimmy being like, all right. And this is a recurring theme throughout these 6 seasons with Jimmy. This is when the Saul Goodman always comes out, is when in these situations where he's in a social strata that he doesn't belong in.
But he sees the opportunity to tear shit up.
Yeah, he sees the opportunity to take him down a peg, to fucking... Because that's the whole deal. That's the appeal of Saul Goodman, right? At least in terms of this show, is that like Jimmy cannot fit in this world unless he's Saul. And even then, he doesn't fit in, but he can at least tear everybody else down a little bit.
He's like Dracula.
Yeah, and he's always punished when he does the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like he is not trying to cause any problems, really. In this situation, until he is forced to, pretty much.
He's a cursed tragic figure, sort of like Batman.
Yes, that's right. I also, listen, this is only going to make Keo madder, but I did see a lot of fan theories on Reddit that were like, Kim is dragging Jimmy down. She's trying to take him on the path of darkness. She's
the dragon of chaos. The feminine element.
Oh my god.
I think anybody
there's a level of validity to that. Obviously, she only really connected with him over this kind of like, schemey stuff. But
yeah, the scheming is like their connection. That's why she. But
it's not like she's the dark planner. She's just like, that's probably what she finds interesting about him is his ability to do that, right?
And the crux of their relationship is that they both in different ways have the same feelings of disillusionment.
Right.
She's tried literally everything. She fits in the world, but she's tried everything to feel like she's contributing in some way, and she can't. She works for this bank, and then the bank does horrible bank shit, and she can't handle it. She tries to work pro bono, but there's no money in it.
Yeah, and so she tries her best to try to get the bank to do something like slightly less evil, and they're just like, let me think about that. No.
Yeah. They're just like, sorry, there's money to be made, so we're gonna have to ask you to do the lawyer thing.
We live in a
It's not even money to be made. It's literally just like there's people to trample.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because what was his name? Acker or something?
Scott Ackerman.
Yeah.
Like that old guy?
I forget his name, but I know what you mean.
She was like, we could easily just do something else and wouldn't affect this guy. He could just live the rest of his life in peace. They're like, nah, we're gonna go ahead and just take his stuff.
Yeah, actually, we like the original idea where we just freaking ruin this guy's life. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, so she's in a way also disillusioned. It's not. It's telling to me that this switch in Kim happens after she. There's that scene in I think the next to last episode of last season, right before Lalo shows up, where she tells Jimmy that she's doing pro bono stuff, and he goes all Saul Goodman and is like, "There's no money in that. How are you going to get paid?" And I think at a certain point, that's when the switch flips, sort of, because this is a different version of Kim, at least in the scheming part. And also, they both have reasons to want to take down Howard Hamlin a peg.
Yeah, also, there was a moment of switch when, and this was definitely Jimmy's doing, was, after that whole hearing with Chuck, right? After Chuck died, right? Where he was like faking being all sad about it and stuff. And she was like all proud of him and happy. And then he's just like, suckers.
Yeah, that definitely didn't sit well with her. And like maybe there's a version of this where I believe that Kim is like playing some sort of long con, but I think that takes away the nuance of their relationship. If she's just conning him for some reason.
Yeah, for no reason other than I don't know, she's evil or something.
Yeah.
She's a Joker.
But as for this caper, yeah, Jimmy Kevin pretty much is like, yeah, make sure he gets out of here. And he's even sticking around to watch this fucking asshole. He sticks around to make sure that, like, Jimmy leaves. And Jimmy's like, well, yeah, Jimmy McGill left, but Saul Goodman's coming back, baby. And he gets in there.
What did he do that upset him so much? I forgot. What he did? Do you remember?
He aired the gay cowboy commercial, and his dad was the cowboy in the original commercial.
Oh, yeah.
The footage.
Oh, that was great.
He also, Kevin can't confirm it, but he also screwed him out of the bank thing entirely. I forget what the scheme was they pulled, but like the bank wasn't able to get that guy's house. Because of something that Saul and Kim did.
Yeah, was it some kind of copyright thing or something? I don't remember. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, it was an elaborate scheme that they pulled off successfully. And then Kim,
that was great.
Then Kim quit. But yeah, I mean, he's also probably pissed off that Kim quit. So Jimmy comes back there and he's like, wait a second. I know what it is. Goodman, you can't handle a Jewish guy coming into the golf club. I get it. He's like 5,000 years and it comes to this. The best part of the episode is when Kevin tries to, is held back from hitting him. He's like, violence, it always comes to this.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, this is classic Saul Goodman here. This is just, it's also extremely funny. And I love the bit where he tells the guy showing him around that's not his fault. He's just doing what he's told.
You were just following orders.
Yeah, just following orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And he's pretty much like, so Kevin storms off, and when he's gone, he's like, well, listen, can I at least use the bathroom? Am I allowed to do that? And he's like, yes, there's one right down the hall. And he's like, thank you. So he gets down there and he clogs it so that the attendant there has to go attend to it while he looks for what locker Howard's keeping his stuff in. And he essentially plants fake cocaine in his locker. We get some Odenkirk ass. We get some Odenkirk ass in this scene because he has to. It's pretty ingenious, honestly. Which is that he hears them coming, and he doesn't have time to get out of there, so he just strips down, and he knows the rule of the locker room. No one's going to ask you anything when you're naked.
He does acknowledge him, which he acknowledges him, but I feel like that's also a violation of locker room rules, isn't it?
You're not supposed to. You gotta just walk past. You can't be like, "Hello."
This is why Howard needs to be killed.
Yeah. Yeah, this is proof that Howard deserves everything he gets.
He's
so,
like, hey. And Jimmy's just like, oh,
he's a hey female. And so Howard opens his locker and a packet of I think it's baby powder, right? To resemble Coke. And it falls out and Clifford Maine is there. He's like, what's that? He's like, oh, that, I don't know how that got here. You think someone put it there? And he's like, yeah, that's probably the only reasonable explanation.
He's like, it fell out of your locker there, friend.
I love the deadpan, just like, that came out of your locker. Yeah. And he comes back and Kim's like, I don't know, did it work? I don't know, maybe it was too subtle. He's like, no, it worked pretty well. And there's a little bit of like, a little spark of Goodman in there still when he says that. Even if he seems still not on board with the plan at all. Elsewhere, I think this is the end of the episode here is with Lalo. Yeah, that's right. He's preparing to head back to the United States. He calls his uncle. A little fun bit here where he speaks to the lady in Spanish first. And when she says she's going to find somebody, he switches to English so he knows that she can't speak Spanish.
That was pretty good.
Lalo's a clever guy. I think that's what makes him the most terrifying of the Salamancas. Is that he has like actual... He's not just using brute force at all moments.
He's thinking about how he's going to stab you.
Yeah, that's more terrifying.
I just love it when you see the gears turning in his head and he's thinking about the crime he's about to commit.
Yeah. Yeah, those gears start to turn the moment these coyotes start acting shitty to him.
He's sort of like Char Aznable.
In a way, Lalo is of the Salamancas, the Char. Yeah. So yeah, he calls Hector and he's like, the chicken man set me up. And
I'm gonna go kill him.
I'm gonna kill him now. And
but he also has to wait 15 minutes for Hector to spell out the word proof in Spanish.
Yeah.
For the listeners at home, Hector has to use a bell to communicate because of his stroke.
Yeah.
So Lalo has to read out every letter of the alphabet and wait for him to ring the bell. And he's proof like, in Spanish, it's like 8 letters long.
He's like, oh, you need me to get proof. Okay. He's like, well, sorry guys, I'm not going to be crossing the border with all of you. He's like, I want my money back. And they're like, yeah, we don't do refunds. He's like, huh,
he sounds so friendly during this whole sequence.
Yeah, and he sounds so friendly, and these guys are just like, yeah, whatever, asshole.
I mean, he did give him $2,000 as well.
Yeah.
Or something ridiculous like that.
And they're like, nah, no refunds, asshole. He's like, okay. And then he politely puts the hay bale back around all of the people who are waiting. And then you just hear gunfire go off, and then he takes it back and says, yeah, sorry guys, you're all gonna have to find your own way to cross the border. Anyway, make sure they get their money back and leaves. I think he takes one of their trucks, or did he pull up with that truck?
No, he takes that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he steals the truck.
And just rides off. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Top 10 Lalo moment compilation.
Lalo-based moments.
Really, it is a based moment in terms of, I mean, yeah, he's a completely irredeemable villain, but at least he, like, gives back to the people.
Yeah. And those guys were rude.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, for no good reason. They were just, like, posturing for they had no idea who they were talking to.
Well, that's the thing. They thought he was just another guy who was trying to make it across the border, so they were just treating him like shit. Anyway, yeah, good episode. We still have a second one to discuss, so here we go. Yeah, so this second episode, Carrot and Stick, old friends come back to the show for this one. I had to rejog my memory of who the Kettlemans were.
Yeah, it took me a few seconds.
Yeah. They of course they're the people. They're from season 1. They were committing some huge like fraud, right?
It was like embezzlement.
Jimmy got them arrested. Yeah, embezzlement.
I remember everyone like on Reddit wanted to fuck the wife.
Yeah, and they still do. But yeah,
keeping it together. She got it locked down.
Yeah. But we open with Mike and his crew entering Nacho's home. These two tweaker ladies are like freaked out, and Mike's like, "Listen to me, I'm talking to you now. You're gonna go, and you're gonna go to someone's house. You don't know anybody, make some friends." And he gives them some money.
Or I can shoot you.
This is like peak cleaner Mike right here.
Yeah.
And they break into the safe of Nacho's house and find all of his stuff. Nice little bit where Mike sees his dad's ID and pockets it, doesn't put it back in the safe. They get a new, harder to crack safe and put all of his stuff in it, and along with a letter that contains, as we find out later, a bank account from, I think it's like a Peruvian bank account. The Cayman Islands. And
have a phone number for the motel they have him staying at.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what that. Basically, it's that he's hiding out, but I think they're also trying to set up that he's got some kind of like connections with outside forces that made him a traitor, other than Gus. So
yeah, I saw a lot of people. I don't know if it was something on the account or something, but there was a lot of people talking about like Peruvians. So.
I don't know. I don't trust those Redditors to tell me proper information.
Yeah, but I assume the goal was that it was supposed to look like someone else.
It was supposed to look like he just had money from a rival cartel.
Yeah, that way, so when he is killed after he tries to get into a shootout, they can just blame it on another cartel.
Instead of Gus, who actually did it.
Right, which is honestly very sloppy in comparison to the schemes Gus pulls off later in Breaking Bad. So yeah, Gus is not operating at 100% power. Not yet.
Yeah, and this plan does not work.
No. It turns out the cousins are very dedicated to getting Nacho alive. So much so that they kill their own men to make sure that they do not kill Nacho. But yeah, they get this safe in there. Mike puts his stuff in there, and he's all like, "This is how it should go down. Oh well." And he leaves. So Jimmy is trying to come up with like the scheme here is that him and Kim need somebody to go to Clifford, Maine, and suggest that Howard has been acting outside of the interest of a client. And Jimmy keeps suggesting people, and none of it really feels like it works. And then they land on the Kettlemans, and Jimmy is not happy with this. So he pulls up to this like trailer in the desert, and it has a giant Statue of Liberty, the giant Statue of Liberty that will later be in Saul's own outside of Saul's own office on the roof. The same one, apparently, according to the creators. Like, they had it in storage, I guess, and they just took it out for this.
I'm glad they kept everything. Oh, most everything.
Yeah.
Just in case.
So he has this scene with the Kettlemans, and god damn, these people suck so much.
Yeah.
She talks about how much they've how horrible it was. Their kids go to private or public school now.
School. Yeah.
Yeah. She says like Jimmy ruined their life, and Jimmy's like, yeah, technically that was all on you, but yeah. And he's like, listen, I got reason to believe that Howard was not acting, or he was saying that, like, he says someone was not acting in your best interest, and they're like, I knew that woman was not acting in our best interest. He's like, no, not Kim Wexler, Howard Hamlin.
He tries to play it off like he's keeping like the secret, and he's gonna like be their lawyer if he tells them.
But he also knows that they're smart enough to not fall for the first layer.
Yes.
But dumb enough to think that they figured everything out.
Right, it's pure Slip and Jimmy. Wait for the scheme to play out completely. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he has them hook, line, and sinker for. He does the bit where he walks away, and sure enough, they come back, and he smiles as he turns back around. And
makes him sign the contract.
Right, and then he makes sure to say that you can't say my name, otherwise I get credit, so that they never mention who they learned this from. Smart. And they leave, and Betsy is the wife. She says they're not doing business with him. They're going to go find someone else to take this case. Mm-hmm. And then he shouts about it, and then big old Saul Goodman smile, and he leaves.
Walking away from them.
Yeah. So Cliff goes and
they go to Cliff Howard after like 3 other lawyers off screen.
Yeah, they go to Cliff, and he sits in on this to hear their case, and he talks about how Howard didn't represent him in the best of way. I think they say a line. I think the husband says a line about how it was common knowledge in the yard that Howard used cocaine.
It's like you can spot them. Drug people, they can just spot each other.
Yeah. And
what do they do? Like go down to the prison and interview the inmates or something?
Yeah. Cliff is like, sorry, fellas, but you're pretty stupid.
Yeah, he's like, you're pretty dumb with it, and honestly, the chances of this case getting overturned are pretty much 0. And he's like, and even if I believed I could help you with this case, this conflict of interest for me, because I work with Howard on this thing. So, bye. And after they leave, he does think once again about the drug use and all that jazz. Nacho is not doing well. He's been hanging out in the motel for a little bit.
I don't know. I think he's doing great. That food looks delicious.
He doesn't eat it. He throws it.
Well,
yeah.
First mistake.
He watches around, and eventually he spots like a hole in this abandoned house.
He sees a shifty guy smoking first.
He's
fixated on the shed across from him that has a little gap in the boarded up window.
Yeah.
Good instincts.
Well,
Nacho's not a fool. This is what I mean by Gus's underestimating him, you know? And
he has this total amateur watching him.
Yeah, just this dude that he hired. I think this is also another lesson for Gus, maybe, which is don't hire outside of people you know. He hires some shitty-ass mercenaries to kill Lalo. He hires this random dude to watch Nacho. This complete amateur who gets noticed. So Nacho jumps out the back window after slamming out the... Listen, it's going to get hot in there now. He slammed out that air conditioner.
The poor landlord.
It was already not working, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't working. So yeah, he goes around the front of the building and finds this guy, and this guy's like,
he goes in the shed and puts a gun at him.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, yeah, well, listen, I don't know who you're working for, but I guess if it was the cartel, they would have already killed me. So he calls the number that he has,
and tells Tyrese he's leaving.
Right. And
Tyrese's like, what? No.
And then a little bit later, the guy gets a call that confirms everything, and he's like, "All right, man, what if you shoot me? They're gonna hear you." And he's like, "Well, I don't plan on doing that," and then beats him up.
And so Nacho's like, "I'm out of here," and he goes to hotwire a truck.
Yeah,
but he has literally the worst timing in the world.
The worst possible timing. Which is wild because that means if he had been a couple of minutes slower on figuring things out, he would be in the hands of the cartel. And Gus would probably be, like, in deep shit. So yeah, the cousins show up. There's a real good shot of, them walking through, like, the dust. Just very calmly heading towards this guy. There's a couple of other people who, I think Nacho kills one of them. First off, Nacho is, like, in the seat of this truck, 2 guns, just trying to not get murdered. And then he backs out and he gets to a standoff with the 2 brothers. You can tell these dudes are bad because there's a literal truck in front of them and they still just sort of calmly move past it like it's a bull.
One of the cousins like wags at him with the finger, tell him to get out.
And they kill another guy who's trying to murder Nacho. They want him alive, but Nacho drives through, and I guess he escapes as far as we can tell. His car, I mean, he does get a flat tire from what I can see, but it was a good scene, very tense action sequence.
Yeah, he barely makes it out of there.
We cut back to Jimmy Solomon.
Yeah.
Or no, we get the scene with Mike where he does the line from the trailer. He has a gun stuck in his face.
I think, we can do that. It doesn't matter what happens and when, really. But yeah,
I want to die.
Mike. Oh no, because there's that thing where Gus realizes that Lalo's alive.
Yeah, who cares? Because
he has this meeting with Juan Bolsa or whatever, and Hector at the nursing home, and Juan Bolsa has to be like the dumbest dude alive. How does this guy become a liaison to like a huge cartel? He buys everything.
Of the family.
Like Gus could be
He's just like, wow, these guys are getting along so great after their history. I love this.
He has a look on his face of like, I can't wait to tell Don Eladio the good news.
Yeah, I think that he writes for like Generation Hope in his free time.
So, he has this meeting and Gus like apologizes to Hector and is like, we will find whoever killed Lalo. And
somebody probably told Bolsa that meth is actually good for you and he just believed them or something.
Yeah, he thinks they're doing like community service. So Hector looks up at him and shakes his hand, and Gus is like, I distinctly remember that you never look at me.
He gives him like this very like this smile that like was trying to act like he was like, yeah, we're friends now, but it was like it was too phony and also kind of smug too.
I appreciate that Hector's pettiness for Gus is so deep that he's willing to jeopardize everything Lalo is planning without realizing it, I don't think.
Oh yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah. I saw people, this is one more Reddit for everybody here. I think it was maybe one of the funnier ones, which was someone was like, why did Hector reveal this information to Gus? Why does Hector want Gus to know Lalo's alive?
I've got to log on to Reddit and tell them to log off of Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the criticism I've ever given about TV shows being too, like, forward, like having to spell everything out for everybody. Now I think I'm starting to understand why.
Yeah, mankind is unlovable.
It's true. Elsewhere, Juan Bolsa is breaking into the safe that they have, and he finds all the info they need for where Nacho's hiding. Another thing he just buys, he's just like, he's keeping this information locked in a safe for some reason. All right, good for him.
It's like, wow, convenient.
Yeah, no thoughts or questions asked. He's like, yeah, I got this guy, dummy.
I mean, to be fair though, you might as well check it out. Like, what are you going to lose checking it out?
Exactly, yeah. So we get this, probably the scene of the episode for me, other than maybe the Nacho gunfight. So Mike comes in to meet with Gus and Tyrus, and Gus is like, we're going to take Nacho's dad, and we're going to hold him hostage? And Mike's
we
like,
are going to have a civilian hostage who is a dad. What do you think of that, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're having this
family.
They're having this meeting after Tyrus informs him that Nacho went off the deep end and is out there roaming around or whatever. So Gus is rattled very clearly. He in a rare un-Gus move, he tips a glass over, breaks it. This is a Gus not operating at 100%. Gus would have caught the glass and then firmly put it back on the table in the same place it was.
Yeah, he should have made Tyrese clean it up.
Yeah, peak Gus would have just murdered Tyrus
for
right
watching
there.
this.
Yeah.
And instead, Mike's like, you can't. No, you're not bringing this innocent guy into this, Gus. Not letting it happen. And Gus is like, what? He's like, it's not gonna happen. I appreciate that Mike is like, calmly walks over to the door, closes it and locks it, and is like, I'm not letting you do that. Tyrus pulls out his gun as if to intimidate Mike, and Mike just stares at the gun and back at Gus.
He's like, I'm in Breaking Bad. You're not gonna kill me.
I have something called plot armor. You got it too, Tyrus. In fact, none of us in this room are going anywhere.
We're all gonna make it out of this show, Gus. You should know that.
Nacho, I don't know.
There's no reason for us to fight.
No reason for us to fight. I know we make it out and remain good friends.
They're good friends.
Mike's like, whatever you think's gonna happen, it's not gonna go down that way. And Gus is like, he answers a call from Nacho, and he's like, not my call, Nacho. And
then like, he wants to talk to you.
Yeah, cut away. So Jimmy is going to go meet with the Kettlemans again the next day. Kim decides to go with him this time.
Oh boy!
After she sees him take some cash and say that he's gonna bribe them.
Big Lalo bucks.
Yeah, he's been taking some Lalo money, which we'll see how that goes for him.
He's like trying to get rid of it as hard as possible.
Yeah,
and Kim is just like,
yeah, because I think it was either last episode or this one where he takes it out and is like, here, you can pay for a cab with this, right?
Yeah, he'll break 100, right?
It was the last episode. He goes back there and he's like, hey, listen, you can't mention me or anything like that, but here you go, here's some money, peace out. And they're like, no, we're not taking your money. What do you think we are? Some sort of dummies? We're gonna just take your money for no reason? And then
you think we're gonna break bad?
Yeah, what do you think we are? A couple Walter Whites? And Kim's like, this is interesting. And she takes the phone, and Craig is very nice and tells her that she has to dial 9 to get out. So she does, and gets to the DA's office, I think. And she's like,
I think she's calling the IRS.
She's calling someone she knows in the law. And she's like, yeah, so I think I got a real big tax fraud thing going on here. I think they're bilking old people out of their money. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a problem. he's like, I can patch you into my guys.
She just describes their entire scam right there as they watch in horror.
In front of them. Listen.
Yeah, they haven't even done any investigation. It's just so basic that...
Right. Well, she does an extremely slight investigation, which is she looks around. And she's like, she has a line that feels like some pretty blunt foreshadowing, which is like, she's like, you think you've lost everything? You haven't lost anything yet. And, they're like, all right, fine. Yeah, we won't tell anybody, whatever. And Jimmy's just sort of like in awe at her doing all this.
He's a little bit scared.
But, they go back and, Saul says something about wolves and sheep. And, they're like, well, good job, well done, let's go. And then,
there's a spooky car behind them.
Spooky car following them. We're already at the 2-hour mark, so what's a couple more minutes? What are our predictions for that car? Who's in it? Gus?
I think it's a ghost.
Oh, yeah, Ghost the Chuck.
I think it's Chuck's private investigator.
That was my thought, actually. Was that...
You mean Cliff's or Howard's?
No, Chuck had that private investigator who was there when Jimmy broke into the house.
Oh.
It stands to reason that maybe he would be following them for some reason.
I think it's Howard or the police.
See, it's not flat. That car's not flashy enough for Howard. It doesn't have a Namaste license plate on it.
Well, it's not Howard himself. It's someone he hired.
Yeah, the same PI that Chuck hired.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He's good friends with them. They're good pals. They go golfing together.
And they both live until Breaking Bad.
At least. Well, we don't know Howard lives until Breaking Bad, to be fair.
Good luck, Howard.
Yeah, we'll see how you do. Good episode. I feel like it's either the private eye or maybe like someone who works for the DA, but I don't know if it comes back like that. I don't know if the DA has enough to just follow some dude around who has technically not committed a crime.
Yeah, they are suspicious of him, so maybe it's those folks following him around, seeing like why he knows Jorge de Guzman's actual name.
Yeah. So yeah, that 2 good episodes. Starting off running in this final season here.
You'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm assuming we're tuning in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tuning in.
Yeah, it's great. It's good. I mean, if I had to give the edge, it's probably the first episode, just because, you know, it really brought us back into everything. Episode 2 is more of a place setting the plates, getting ready to shatter them. Yeah, good stuff all around. I'm glad to have Saul back. There's not anything on TV. If anyone ever wonders why we're harsh critics on this show, it's because this is like what TV should aspire for, and more often than not does not. This fails.
These folks have ruined television.
Those people.
Those Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul folk.
Yeah. Yeah,
because there's just there's a care to everything that isn't in most programs. But yeah, it's a good show all around.
Shockingly so that there's so many shows that lack this kind of thing going on here.
Good stuff all around. It's another tune in for Better Call Saul. I mean, if you haven't watched it at this point, what are you doing? That'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. It was a long one, but hey, we do love talking about Better Call Saul. I suspect we'll be talking about it some more before the show is done. But for now, that is all. Next time around, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled Buy Me a Coffee episodes, talking about Cowboy Bebop. Until then,
we gotta post this episode to Reddit
directly on the Better Call Saul Reddit.
Yeah.
Well, until next week, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
I found them.
Hey folks, time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster is a mediocre person who keeps watch in Mexico?
Yeah, that's true.